bad, not bad. So, good morning, everybody. You were supposed to be really woken up by that, but we did our best. So, I wonder what time you get up in the morning. That is a rhetorical question that you don't need to answer. So, some of you might know that I get up at a ridiculous hour in the morning. I get up at 5 a.m. and so does Pete. What a good man. It doesn't matter whether it's summer with the light mornings or winter with the cold, dark mornings. It's easier, I have to say, to get up when it's warm and light in the morning, and I would be fibbing to say I bounce out of bed every morning. But get up at 5 a.m. we do. We start with breakfast and then begin our day with whatever we're going to do, and we enjoy it. Don't we, Pete? The question is, what makes us do it? What gets us up in the morning at this hour? Now, this video clip might help.
You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
So what film is that? Kung Fu Panda, that's right. It's the point at which Master Oogway endeavours to comfort Po, who is anxious about his future and worried about his past. Master Oogway says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. Some of you might know that this quote was first made by Eleanor Roosevelt. She did many famous quotes. So yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. This statement contains the reason for us getting up so early. Today is a gift. As we get older, I think we begin to realize that looking forward, there aren't so many days to come as there are those days that are stacked behind us. Suddenly, each day becomes a gift, which we know we should look forward to and make the most of. Don't get me wrong, I know this isn't always easy. Life comes along and trips us up or knocks us over sideways, and we can't see how on earth the day can be possibly called a gift. We might be having times like that right now. Each day has a cloud hanging right over it, preventing us seeing it as a gift. On those days, we have to work hard just to get through the day. And we might think that all our days are going to be like this. But Jesus says in John 10:10 that he's come that we might have life and have it to the full. It's not his plan that our days should have clouds over them. He wants us to be able to live life abundantly, loving God, loving each other, and loving ourselves. When these cloud-filled days come our way, we have to remember that Jesus also said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Jesus wants us to share our cloudy days with him, and he offers us rest in the form of his peace and his hope for a better future. But getting back to today being a gift, and the idea that we can in it live life to the full, I think we can only really have that gift of today and live it to the full and with joy if we are certain of our future. But Master Oogway said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. I don't want the future to be a mystery. I want to be certain of my hope for the future. I want to be sure that there's more to this life than just this life. That we've got something to look forward to beyond this life, so that today can become that extra special gift which we can confidently live in, knowing that God, in his love for us, has our future mapped out if we love and trust him. So how do I do this? How do we do this? How do we make sure that we can be certain of our hope for the future? Sometimes the first thing I do on getting out of bed in the morning is walk the dog. In the summer, this can be an absolute joy. He doesn't walk that quickly anymore. It's his birthday today, and he's 13. So he's an old man, and now I've lost my place. The sun has risen, the sky is blue, and all I can see in some direction are trees and a great expanse of grass, and all I hear are the birds. I see no houses, just countryside. It's just a peaceful, joyous time, especially as there's usually no one else around. I hold my youngest grandson in my arms. He's 7 months old, and I look at his skin and his little nose, his mouth and his eyes, and it's all perfection. I look at the wonder of nature, birds, animals, and flowers, and marvel at their beauty and their adaptation to survival. It's all incredible and convinces me that this beautiful world has been put together by our Creator God with much thought and love for the people he also made to walk with him in it. And whichever way you look at how the world began, whether you look at the biblical story of creation or the Big Bang Theory, there's got to be a mind behind it all that began it. And that mind, for me, is definitely our loving Creator God, who made everything with love and care and detail for us to enjoy and look after. We go back to Genesis, where it says that God created the world and everything in it. And after doing so, he said it was good. He then created man, Adam and Eve, and said they were very good. God walked with Adam and Eve in the garden, the perfect world he'd created, and there was no sin and no death. Everything was lovely and was going to last for an eternity. But God had said to Adam, "You must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will certainly die." Unfortunately, we know that both Adam and Eve ate from that tree that they were specifically told not to eat from, tempted by the snake who said to Eve, "You will not certainly die, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." That was where it all went wrong. They ate, they sinned, death came into the world, and they were thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Man's close walk with God had been spoiled, and it needed sorting out so that we could once again have the hope of walking with God forever. And with this hope, live abundantly today, loving God, loving each other, and loving ourselves, and seeing each day as a precious gift given to us by God. But how can I be certain that there is this hope of walking with God again in the future? That there is more to this life than just this life? That we've got something to look forward to beyond this life? Paul in Romans says that sin came into the world through the one man, Adam, and it was God's plan to overcome that sin. But it equally had to be done by one man, and that one man was God's Son, Jesus, whose purpose was to live here on earth as a man, be judged for the sin that the one man, Adam, brought into the world, and defeat death, which was the result of Adam's first sin. And the story of how it happened is told in the gospel accounts through the events of the Easter story, through Jesus' crucifixion and death, and through his resurrection.
Jesus was the Son of God. Not everyone believed him. They arrested and beat Jesus. He died on a cross. He was buried. Women found his empty tomb. An angel told them Jesus was alive. Jesus appeared to the women, the disciples, and many others. Jesus was alive, and he's still alive today. And that's a part of God's story.
It had to be that quick because Jude told me I only had 10 minutes. This gives us our hope for the future and our gift for today. Jesus dealt with all sin on the cross, and he dealt with death at the resurrection. He was resurrected, and we, in our turn, will also be resurrected, and death will be no more. So getting back to Master Ugwe saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. Our future need not be a mystery. The events of Easter, the crucifixion and the resurrection give us the certainty of our hope for the future, a new life with our resurrected body forever and with God. Because we have that certainty for our future, today is a gift, and a gift that, whatever our situation, we should endeavour to view as such, living it as a gift to the full, loving God, loving each other, and loving ourselves, and aiming to underpin it with joy and the expectation of what God has in store for us. So there is the answer to my original question, what gets me up in the morning? It's because today is a gift to be lived with the assurance that tomorrow is not a mystery, but a certainty of an eternity with God back in his perfect garden. Now, you might not want to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, but I do hope that I might have convinced you that today is a gift to be embraced and lived in for God, showing more of that kindness which goes with every shoebox we fill and send out to children who otherwise would have nothing at Christmas.